Hi Capricorn, so this is your extended reading to see what we can do to keep you from being home alone on Valentine's Day next year. So let's see what kind of blocks you currently could have that's keeping you from love. So let's do Capricorn blocks, current blocks that is keeping them from love. Current blocks. That one's wanting to come out. Cycles. Okay, so you're in the middle of a cycle that is not conducive to dating. The answer is yes. Okay, that's a block. If that's a block, the answer is yes. Maybe it's just saying yes. The answer is yes. You are in a cycle. Maybe, okay, so that feels like you keep asking the question. God, I'm losing all my cards. You keep asking the question is this ever going to end? Okay, now I get it. Because you are in a cycle, kind of like maybe life has been smacking you around a little bit lately. And there's just been a lot of shit going on. And you're like, oh my God, is this ever going to end? And the answer is yes, it is going to end. You're not always going to be in a situation where you're, going to be Wonder Woman fighting off bullets or anything like that. Because I kind of feel like that's what's going on right now. Like my camera needs to come down a little bit. There. So that's the first thing that I want to say. Yes, you're in a cycle that is not conducive to dating. It is going to end. And you've got some regrets about something. So I don't know, maybe you're going through bankruptcy right now. Some financial issues, you're majorly regretting how you handled your money, and now you're having to work all the time, and that is a regret of yours because you don't have time to do anything else, or you are regretting how you treated this other person that maybe you were with for a while and they have like dumped you, and you're regretting how you treated that person, and now you're starting to realize what I want to say douchebag you are, but that's not a very nice term. So whatever the case is, you've got some regrets around something. Offer. So this feels like that was a block. So somebody gave you an offer and you turned your nose up at it and it wasn't good enough for them. So the feeling that I feel like is like I almost can see somebody offered you an engagement ring and you turned your nose up at it, and one, the ring wasn't big enough, and two, you were like, you thought you were above that person and they were not good enough for you. And so I feel like that has a little bit to do with why you are alone, is because you've got to get over yourself somehow. Gosh, I'm sorry, this is harsh. I'm just the messenger. Let's see. What other blocks are Capricorns currently going through? Oh, there's two. Bound. You're bound by something. So a lot of times bound, and because it came up with that offer that you turned away, I feel like you are bound a little bit by your ego and materialism. And so maybe there is somebody out there in the world that would be really, really good for you, but they didn't make enough money. They didn't drive a nice enough car. There were things about them that you were like, I so would not go out with somebody like that because they just, aren't good enough. They don't make enough money. They don't have a good enough job. They don't come from the right side of the tracks or whatever. And so you have a little bit of a snootiness going on right now. And that has stopped you from being with somebody. and currently you could be going through the dark night of soul. That would also match up with the cycles of everybody will not always be going through the dark night of the soul forever. And the dark night of the soul usually just means that you are going through a major growth period of time. And when you come out of that, you will not be bound by materialism, addictions, because that bound can be addictions too. So it is possible that you've been addicted to drugs or alcohol or something like that, and that's just not a good place to be and get into a good relationship. So I feel like Spirit is cleaning your act up right now to get you into a position and a place that makes you more conducive to being a good human being and somebody that somebody wants to be with. Making you a good human being and making a good human being want to be with you, because like attracts like. So if you have only been attracting losers up to this point, it's because you haven't been in a good place yourself. So I feel like Spirit is like put you in a timeout and says, we've got some stuff we need to clear up and get out of your whatever. Numbing. Let's see, that numbing card came up. So that also comes along with bound. So you perhaps have been numbing yourself, numbing the pain, and that could be in many ways, shapes, and forms. That could be drugs, alcohol, cutting. It could be eating too much or eating bad stuff, in shopping. I mean, there's a number of things that people do that is unhealthy habits. So I feel like at this point in time, you're going through a cycle and Spirit is trying to get rid of some of those negative habits that you have in order to get you into a better place that you are good for. You can find somebody that's good for you. Let's see what else is. Okay, so yeah, I think that's about it for you. Let's say you are a Capricorn and you actually have somebody that you have been dating, but you are still home alone by yourself on Valentine's Day. Let's see what that person is going through and what is keeping them from being in a relationship with you. What's their blocks? What's the blocks to the relationship? That's way too many cards. So what's going on with the Capricorn partner right now that is stopping you guys from being together? Let's say you do have your shit together and you're in a better position than this person that is completely single, that's got a lot of stuff they're working out. But let's say you are dating somebody, but that person and you are not together on Valentine's Day. What's going on with them? Well, that says the fall. So that makes me think in the fall is when you guys might be in a better equal position. I need to pull these other cards up. In the fall, you'll be in a better position and more on equal ground to where that person will be able to make an offer that you will be okay with. Because right now I feel like things are just not good for them. Maybe finances are not good for that person. She's still healing from a relationship. There's a little bit of time that needs to happen, because if you're only waiting for the fall, that could be 6 months or so. That's not that 6 to 9 months. That's not that far off down the road before you guys are going to be on equal footing. I keep hearing equal footing. So right now you are probably in a different spot than that other person. And you're just, okay, that to me tells me that that person is healing over some sort of separation. That could be grief. That could be grief from a previous relationship they're healing from. That could be grief from, they're just healing a broken heart in some way, shape, or form. Could be they lost a parent or something and they need to just kind of heal from that for a little bit, the separation from that. They're healing from some separation of something. Commitment. Okay, so if that's a block, The other person that you have in mind that you wish you were with on Valentine's Day has a fear of commitment. Maybe they recently got divorced and they're scared to death and they're like, there is no way I am going through that again. That was way too much pain and I'm not committing to anybody. They may offer for you to move in and be their live-in for a while, but they're not going to offer to marry you because they are worried about commitment. They don't want to get tied down to one person. And it all has to do with pain that they received from a previous relationship. They need to forgive. So I feel like whoever you Capricorns have in mind as this person that you're pining over and wishing you were with, they've got a lot of healing that they need to do right now. They need to forgive some people in their lives. They need to realize that commitment is not an evil word. They need to realize that the person that they were with before is not you, and they need to not like lump the two of you into the same thing. Way too many cards. What else is going on as a block to the relationship with the person that you have in mind here, Capricorn? What else is going on? Material world. That could mean a couple of things. It could be just that they are working a lot and they are trying to get their pennies in place. If they were in a previous relationship, there is a good chance that a lot of their money went with the spouse. Or it just hit him hard, like court. I feel like it's like court costs and just a lot of money went out the window separating the two of them. You know, it's like maybe they had to sell the house and they had to take a loss on the house. And so financially, they took a setback from this previous relationship. And right now, they need to get in a better mental state around their money. Because it's like it's like they don't want to take you to Burger King when you guys go out on a date. They want to have the money to take you out to a decent place. And so just give them a little time to kind of focus on their money. And if you two are meant to be together, then they'll come around and you guys will be all right. It's not gonna be that way forever. If that is the right person, obviously. You want them to be in a good situation when they come to you. You want them to be whole. You don't want them to be still broken and wounded and healing. You want them to be a whole person. Do I want all of those? I want this top one. They also probably need to work on their communication a little bit. So I feel like right now they're not saying a whole lot and they're not telling you how they feel. They're not telling you what's going on with them. They don't want you to look at them as they are weak because they feel very weak right now. And so they need to learn to communicate and realize, so I feel like this person that they were with before was very judgmental, and anytime they communicated how they were feeling, they got reprimanded for it, or they were made to feel foolish, and now it's like they're afraid to communicate how they really feel. So if you're a Capricorn and you have somebody and they do communicate any feelings whatsoever, especially if they don't match up with maybe what's going on with you, don't be too hard on them, because all that's going to make them do is think, oh my God, that person, you are just like the last person and I can't be myself and I can't tell them I'm worried about this, I'm scared about this, or I think this about them, because they're going to go off the deep end. So there's some communication issues that's going on between you and that person that's causing perhaps a delay in any kind of relationship, and it's just because communication's not flowing between the two of you very well. And one last one, divine masculine. How is that a block? How is that a block between the two of you? Let me think about that. How is the divine masculine a block? You know, what's coming to me is it feels like his father, and I'm going to say his, whoever you have in mind, whether this is a female you have in mind or a male that you have in mind as your partner that you're thinking about, it feels like their father is a block for them. They have certain thoughts in their head that they think that they need to be this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. This is what was ingrained in them by their father. And I feel like in this case, it's kind of like their father is a block. And it's like, I can't come to this person, or I can't be this way because my father wasn't this way. And his father, your father, her father, somebody's father is maybe made a comment about you one time about you not being good enough, or I don't know, maybe even it wasn't that you weren't good enough, it was that person wasn't good enough for you. And so I don't know, it just feels like there's some masculine energy that is causing some problems, and it feels like it's on the father's side, or maybe it's a son that doesn't like you guys together. If you're older, there's a son that he's worried about that he doesn't like, or a father figure that is a block for him, or something like that. So anyway, hopefully if you can look at this with a fresh perspective, and maybe you won't be home by yourself next Valentine's Day because you'll have some things that you need to work on, or that that's coming down the pike to be worked on. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know. I can do this, obviously this is a general reading, so I can only do a general reading for the horoscopes. If you feel like you want something that's more specific to you, let me know. And happy Valentine's Day. Thanks. Bye.